Today I'm going to read a story. This is a new thing I'm trying, but one of my superpowers is that I can use my voice to put people to sleep. Um, so, what I'm trying is I noticed that when people ride in a car, the sound of the car sometimes lulls them to sleep. And also, I'm going to read a story. This will especially be helpful for people who suffer from tinnitus and have a hard time falling asleep, or just somebody who just finds it difficult to fall asleep. And so I'm hoping that my superpower in being able to make people fall asleep will work with you. The stories are a little bit interesting. You will probably enjoy them. And you may have to listen to it several times to actually hear the entire story, because if it works the way I intend it to work, you'll probably fall asleep. In fact, some of you may have fallen asleep already during this introduction. So let's get started with the story. The story is Expressed by Rail, Chapter 1. "What is that whistling going on at the shed?" asked George, the newest member of the express team. "Oh," said Romeo, "that is Harold, our foreman. He wants someone to answer his whistle by going to the shed." "Shall I go then?" asked George. "Hell no. Let him come over here. We'll handle it," answered Romeo. Soon Harold came charging up to the express cars parked on the jumbo line, acting like a steam engine himself, snorting and blowing. He climbed up the metal ladder, pushed open the sliding door, and loudly exclaimed, "Hey, you guys, why didn't you answer my whistle?" Romeo, all innocent, looked at Harold wonderingly and said, "Was that you? We thought someone was whistling for their dog. Sorry about that, Harold." "Okay, you guys," shouted Harold. "Get over to the passenger station. Number 83 is due in at 9:05, and we have to get the Eaton's orders onto Johnny's truck." Johnny worked for a local trucking firm which had a contract to deliver express throughout the city. The entire express crew went to the passenger station, sat on the benches, and waited for number 83. 9:05 came and went. And at 10:05, Romeo suggested that Johnny, if he went up to the hill to the restaurant for donuts and coffee, that he, Romeo, would buy Johnny a coffee and a donut. Away went Johnny with orders for coffee and donuts from the express staff. Passengers waiting to board the next train out, and others waiting to pick up the arriving passengers coming in on number 83, were all sitting around, bored and discontented. Al was sitting on a bench right next to a motorman named Fred. Al had taken more than his share of beer the night before, and consequently was feeling the effects of stomach gas. In the quiet of the room, suddenly, sounding like thunder, an enormous pocket of gas escaped Al. An almost invisible cloud of putrefaction drifted over the passengers and express employers. Al jumped up, gave Fred a disgusted look, held his nose, and walked out to the platform. All eyes were on poor Fred as he slumped down in his seat. Finally, unable to stand the stairs any longer, red-faced, Fred got up and walked self-consciously to the door leading to the platform. Through the window of the door, he could see Al laughing. Al had tears in his eyes. "You," said Fred, "are the son of a rabid dog." At last the whistle of number 83 could be heard as it passed under the bridge before entering the main line to the station. "Where is Johnny?" roared Harold. Someone volunteered that Johnny was at the restaurant getting coffee and donuts. "Judas Priest," screamed Harold. "Go and get him." Just then, Johnny came marching down the long flight of stairs that led to the street above, carrying a bag of donuts and half a dozen cups of coffee. Number 83 chugged into the platform, puffing and panting. "Johnny," choked Harold, "where have you been? Quick, jump into your truck and get it back to the express car door before the platform gets full of passengers. We only have 5 minutes before the train pulls out." Johnny jumped into the cab, backed up to the express car door, ran around to climb up to the back of the truck, but could not climb up. He had backed in squarely and left no room to squeeze between the truck and the express car. One of the express crew jumped onto the truck. The rest of the crew started throwing the Eaton's order to their fellow workers. Johnny raced to the other door of the express car, climbed up, fell over a pile of express, scrambled to the door where his truck was. With Johnny in his truck, the 5 express crew formed a human line and literally threw the Eaton order to Johnny, who piled it haphazardly onto the floor of his truck. The express claims agent happened to be on the platform at this time and was heard to remark, "No wonder I have to spend so much time at the Eaton store, checking and reporting damaged goods." The train conductor, looking at his gold railway watch, remarked to Harold, "I'll have to report that the express department held us up again." "Judas Priest," sighed Harold. "Will only be another minute." Johnny ran out of his truck, through the pile of express still left in the express car, tumbled his way to the other door, jumped down to the platform, hopped into his cab, and drove down the platform, blowing his horn at startled passengers who dove out of his way as he departed with his truck load of Eaton's goods. Romeo, having picked up his coffee and donuts, sat in the express car with the rest of the crew, all enjoying coffee and donuts, as the train backed down the track to place the loaded express cars onto the siding to be sorted and loaded into the express trucks. A yard engine picked up the express cars after number 83, now number 86, departed to move the cars to the jumbo line right next to the river. It was a nice summer day, so Joe was at the open door of the express car. As the yard engine began to shunt the cars back to the jumbo line, suddenly the express car lurched to the right. Joe shouted to the rest of the crew, "Get out of here, jump." So saying, he jumped out of the moving express car. The rest of the crew ran to the door and flung themselves to the ground. Just as they picked themselves up, the car they had been riding in ran off the edge of the dock, where enormous rail car ferries normally dock to transfer rail cars across the river. The wheel assembly of the express car dropped down, broke the heavy chains that held them to the express car, and sank to the bottom of the river. By this time, the engineer of the yard engine, sensing something out of the ordinary was happening, stopped the train with the express car teetering on the edge. Romeo still had his cup of coffee with him. He gazed around at everyone, took a sip of coffee, and remarked, "If I ever leave the railway, I think I will continue to come down to see number 83 come in. It is too good to miss."